Hey everybody, what's up? It's the Sith Dominion podcast. I'm Dr. Dana Martin. We are running late, but that's okay. We got Cameron tonight straight away when we open the show. We got Zane straight away. We open the show. We all know Debbie's watching the Acolyte right now. Our show is like fifth on the list. Oh, no way.
Godspeed, Debbie.
Yeah, Debbie, I know that you'll have us on the sidebar there. I hope it's going well. We miss you. Join us after the show for just a moment or two. We won't let you go on forever. You can just jump in, tell us, and then leave. Hey, we had a great Jellyxn B. I don't know who this is, but hey, what up? Yay, you made it. Yay, you made it. We're glad you made it. Sorry for the delay. My daughter came in. You remember the one that was talking all the trash last episode? Yeah, that one. She came down, got to see my grandkid, Zane's sister. So it was really cool. My grandmother, who we've talked about on the show, how wonderful she is. She not feeling too hot. But getting to see my grandson means that my grandmother is a great grandmother that got to see or gets to see her great grandson, which is it just doesn't happen in our world. So super cool. That's why I'm delayed. What are you late for, Cameron? You don't do nothing. What are you?
I was playing softball, man.
Softball. That's right. Did you win?
Yes, we won. Finally.
Yes, you won, or yes, 3-1.
Yes, we won.
Oh, okay.
Just want to give a shout out to my guy Dylan on our team. He unfortunately had a very traumatic injury. Just want to say, you're my thoughts and prayers, man. We hope you get right back up on your feet, brother.
Yeah. We won't bring it up, but catastrophic's never fun. Not saying it is, but you know. Zane, why were you late today?
So there's a sale on Steam right now. I ended up getting Far Cry 3, 4, 5, and New Dawn. So I've been playing some Far Cry 5.
Couldn't play 2 games with me today, but you could play Far Cry.
Well, my bad for helping my roommate move stuff around.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever. So, we had a very long episode last week. And when we were done with that episode, we still had a long episode after that episode, and we didn't get out till after midnight. And it's that second episode part I want to chat about. So those of you, we brought this up a few times. If you want to join, it's probably not to this time, but maybe next time for sure. We have some really good conversation. It's just conversation. Sometimes you don't want to broadcast, and GNN's like, I don't know this guy. I don't know what he's saying. So it would be very independent and not a part of GNN, just so you all know. And I'm going to shoot out some feelers on that and see how it goes. See if anyone wants that. We'll put a poll up on the TikToks and whatnot. Are you guys down for that? Doing kind of off the record, just maybe Facebook broadcast or Twitch broadcast for the Sith Dominion off of the GNN network, just a little sidebar fun.
Sith Dominion After Dark, baby. I'm there.
Yeah.
Gotta get my boy Josiah on.
Get him on. Yeah, see, like that's the thing, right? So it's about an engagement, fan engagement. So for instance, Jellyxn B. I don't know who that. Oh, crud. Here comes Eris Corban. All right. Are you streaming this while you're driving to your mother's? Okay.
It's only like an hour.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So yeah, man, we'll do an after, and yeah, maybe we'll do it on Twitch. Maybe we'll talk about that after the show today and figure that out. What I don't. Yes, we're all aware. I want to talk about a couple of points we brought up last week and want to see how we all kind of feel about it after we've seen episode 5. So, Janae, yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought, but I didn't want to say that in case I was wrong because, I've only been on the Geek Gauntlet once. I'd love to be on it again. I have other geeky things I like too, like Ariel. So, no. I was turning over here because why? We were going to look at the Acolyte from last week. So in our show last week, we very specifically went through some pieces, right? We didn't just like blast or whatever, or, oh, it's so wonderful. Yes, dim mermaids. We were very fair, I thought. I think we all kind of said there was some good and some bad and some terrible and whatever. From that last episode, if there's a point you want to carry over, even with episode 5, we're going to break down episode 5 in a bit. Is there anything you still feel that you still want to carry over that we could talk about on Gina? Cameron. Still feel a certain way even after seeing episode 5.
I still just do not care about a single character in the show. That makes me feel interested to want me to bring back. Yeah, I mean, the Soul storyline, everybody knows the not great things he's done, except for the audience 5 episodes in. I still thoroughly dislike how the Jedi are being portrayed. I'm interested in the Sith to a certain extent. One of my gripes with last episode is we were getting into him just mowing through people, and then we were cutting away to stuff, and really kind of took me out of this I don't know, this Jedi massacre that there's still more people that need to die if we're going to make continuity. It's still not worse than Boba Fett.
No.
That is going to take a lot. Last episode was good. I don't think we have a lot of story. Like, we have 90 minutes left, essentially. Like, every episode is 30 minutes, and there's so much we don't know. And I know you don't need to like carry it over to, like, not everything needs to wrap up with the first season, but I mean, there's probably a serious conversation depending upon how these next 90 minutes go, saying, are we going to get a season 2 of this? And if we don't, I think that's an interesting conversation that we might have to have after episode 8. I give it 5 out of 10 as a whole right now.
As a whole.
As a whole. I mean, it's good-ish, fine. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. I need to jump on this real quick. We will be talking about, Janae, you said the Jedi need better lightsabers. Yeah, I thought it was cool that they did bring Cortosis, or what was it called? Cortosis into canon again. Like, I think it was kind of maybe canonized before a little tiny bit, but I love the way that it showed how it kicks back. I mean, that's a thing that was in now expanded universe, and I'm glad
Isn't Bane canon? Isn't he considered canon because of Clone Wars ish, kind of? Because he was like a Cortosis minor, wasn't he? That was like his pre Sith job, right? So
He was a minor. I don't remember what he mined.
But did they ever say his name?
It was a deleted scene. It wasn't. I didn't think Yoda saw Bane. I
thought he was in Clone Wars.
Oh, Bane? I thought it was just a deleted scene.
Bane was in a deleted scene?
I think so. Find it, Zane.
I'm on it. Kat told me about that. Yeah, the helmet, man. Cortosis. That's some good stuff. He had it on a bracer. He had a bracer too, I think, with it.
The Magneto helmet.
Yeah, that was kind of. I don't recall that from the expanded, but it's possible, I guess.
Cortosis blocks thread mind reading powers. Okay, look, Cortosis is cool, but the whole headbutting a lightsaber, that was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think even if I knew it was Cortosis, I wouldn't risk it.
I mean,
just throw my head into it.
I mean, if he's got this much, why does he not have a chest plate? Why does he not have something to where it can, like, you know what I mean?
Well, okay, so Book of Boba Fett or Mando season 2, whenever he runs into Boba Fett. I mean, there's what's that guy's name? Timothy Oliphant. Whoever had Boba's armor.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Timothy Oliphant's character. Someone's gonna tell me. Oh no. There were pieces missing on that. And so maybe it's this is what I've been able to scrounge together or to put together from this. And then there's this whole history. Where did he get it? Yeah. Okay. So, Zane, we're starting to get into episode 5. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'm getting off course. Thanks, Cam. Is that a Sprite Zero? No,
hell yeah, baby.
Just flavor, chemical flavor. Awesome.
Love me some Sprite. Give me that aspartame, baby.
Yeah. I was thinking of Revan. Revan was the deleted scene one, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bane is in it for sure.
And Galaxy of Heroes is not
not
canon game because he's in that. Yoda sees Bane as an apparition while on Moraband.
Mm-hmm.
Is that from Clone Wars? No.
Yeah, that's playing the Will's arc.
That's right.
Yeah, I sent the clip in chat if you wanted to watch it later.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, thanks, Darth Zane. Just lurking tonight. Chilling. Oh, you're at the Rangers game. Nice. Go Rangers. Let's go Simeon. So yeah, what is something that you still feel about what we talked about, but you even with seeing episode 5? Because I truly believe there were a couple of things we touched on that they not fixed but addressed. So what's still kind of hanging on for you?
Well, my biggest thing is we still don't know who the stranger is. As much as we know who he is, we don't know who he is.
Yeah, we don't. I got you. Yeah, we don't. Cobb Vanth. Thank you. I actually got my wife the black figure, the Black Series figure of that. She loves Timothy Oliphant. Of course, Debbie's not here to say, "Oh, I love him too." Maybe Janae loves that cat too. I don't know. He's a hell of an actor, Timothy Oliphant. And the Cobb Vanth, I think you could have a whole book of Cobb. I'd watch it. I just like his arc. So I'm sorry. You were saying?
I don't even remember. Whatever I was saying about that was and then May. I'm still so confused on who May is as a character.
Yeah.
There
confused on both. They're the same character. She plays them the same way. There's no difference in how she plays either characters.
Yeah, I think I'd rather even have Lindsay Lohan. She did a better job in The Parent Trap playing two different people, I think.
Minus May's walk, which I don't know why she walks.
She did change her gait. That was good. And again, we don't know that direct. What's happening with the direction, and we know we've talked about this in advance. I don't ever blame the actor or actress.
Yeah, we got to preface it again. This is all my gripes. Studio head, directors, writers. Those are what my gripes are. No hate to the actors or actresses or whatever they would prefer to be called.
Yet.
Yeah.
I have been a little frustrated with an actor, actress, whatever you want to be called, or 2 or 5. Oh, y'all.
Well, that was a quick episode.
It's been a while.
38 minutes, I think.
38?
That's episode 6. That means there's 2 more after tonight. Right? Isn't that what you said? About 90 minutes or so left?
Dang, man. We might get over 100 minutes left.
Might as well just waited and watched.
Let's go.
Oh, you want to settle this for us? Is Timothy Oliphant on your wallpaper of?
I don't think he is. I don't think he is, but he should be. Justified, my lord.
Yeah, Justified. That was a good series, man. Well,
and what was the other one? Was it Deadwood or something?
Deadwood. Yeah, Deadwood. Oh, he was amazing. He was. I actually liked him in Hitman. I didn't mind him in Hitman.
I haven't seen that yet.
Was that Jack Black Lizzo episode on Mandalorian real, or is that just a fever dream that we all think about?
No, it happened.
That was a real thing?
That was a real thing.
Oh man, that's
I think the studios try to pull those rabbits out of their hat because they think it'll draw, but I think the purists are like, come on, man. Like we know what you're doing, and it's whatever. It's fine, I guess. Debbie, we were talking about episodes 1 through 4 last week. you know, because you was watching while you were watching.
No spoilers.
Was there anything in episodes 1 through 4 that you kind of felt was meh, that maybe was resolved in 5 or 6 without giving us any spoilers?
1 through 4?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Not yet.
Yeah. It's been a ride. I think I was pretty high on the show coming into it. A couple episodes in, third episode, fourth, fifth episode, and that's what we're gonna be chatting about here. Fifth episode. It was brought up earlier in this show tonight already about how the cutting back and forth. I want to talk about that because they did the cutting back and forth between the fight sequences and whatnot with Obi-Wan and whatever else was happening, and Sidious and Yoda and all. They cut back and forth during that whole segment. Why does this feel different? Because it does feel different to me too. It was almost like I was getting pulled out of the action and not able to keep continuity when I was going back and forth, at least in my mind. And maybe it's because I was drinking wine. I don't know. What are y'all saying about that?
No, dude, because they cut away to nothing. They cut away to them just running through the forest. There's no progression like for anything, and they're fighting behind these trees. And he does the thing where he stabs him and pulls him in. I'm like, oh, that's sick. And then we go to May doing something, walking or running away, or
it was a lot of the running away.
It takes me out. Like, he's already killing people that we know nothing about. Like, that's fine. That's happened in Star Wars media before. That's not my biggest complaint, you know? But like, it takes me out, you know? And then he's fighting, and then he's running after May, and I don't know.
We're gonna fight here, and then I'm gonna run this way. And then I'm gonna fight here, I'm gonna run that way.
This is my gripe with everything. I'm gonna say this looking at the camera. Modern movie, TV, studio. Why is everything so dark? Why is everything got to be dark, man? I've got my TV max brightness. I got blackout curtains. I got everything going, and I still can't see nothing.
we were complaining about that last night on MCU because it's like they film during the day. They use different filters, and it's like, why do you have to use the darkest filter on your camera?
Game of Thrones.
You can go a little lighter, and we still know it's night. We know.
Yes. Game of Thrones, season 8, episode 3. I'm looking at you. You're the reason for this.
Yeah,
you are the reason for this. D&D, you have done irreparable damage to modern filmmaking, and you will pay. You will pay. Well, you already paid because you're not doing a Star Wars project, so have fun.
Yeah, it's like when you're doing that first configuration when you get a new game, right? Slide the slider till it's dark, till you can just barely see. Right? No, I'm like all the way. I gotta see. You can't see nothing.
Brother, I got a 60-inch TV. I shouldn't be squinting at the TV, man. I mean, come on, brother. What the hell?
Man,
I'm sober, by the way.
I'm on my way.
I'm just that fired up.
If I'm any sort of inebriation, it's because I ate too many pepperoni rolls from Double Dave's. I'm a little food drunk, but outside of that, I'm good.
24.
Debbie, I gotta know, just up or down or for episode 6.
It was okay. We did get a little bit more information on the stranger, chimere, whatever you want to call him. There is a little bit more information that he reveals tonight, which I thought was a little interesting. I was like, oh, so then I'm like, racking through my brains, like, what?
Do we know more about Soul?
Didn't say Sith.
Do we know more about Soul?
Do we figure out more about what all this secretive crap with Soul is? I get that.
Jesus Christ, we don't know, do we, Debbie?
No. He was starting to tell May, and then it went dark.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
a
Of
God.
course, because it was another scene of Darkness.
Well, I'm waiting till next week then. Oh my God, bro.
Holy cow. He is in this. What is he? Oh, Bane. Okay. I got you. We'll play that clip later tonight. Thanks, Sing.
Our lore master.
Yes. Wikipedia master.
Nah, we don't like Wikipedia like that.
So
We're iffy on Wikipedia right now.
Wikipedia, man, just changing stuff like definitions. Like, what's a vaccine? No. So what ends up happening with our show is we feel in the dark. You mentioned Jackie, or you mentioned characters getting killed off, and we never had a real connection to them. But what really sucked is I love the Jackie character. I didn't like the Yord character at first, but I was actually like, I'd love to know a little about Yord, like a little more. Like, I didn't feel like I cared when they died. It was like, oh, that kind of sucks. I mean, Jackie was cool with her little.
Is Jackie dead?
It's huh?
She's dead,
dude.
All right.
Okay, that was
I'm just asking.
Nobody is alive. Although,
Debbie,
well, I won't say anything.
Debbie, do they address all the dead Jedi?
Don't ask that question.
Yes.
Save it.
They do.
They have
For
to.
the most part.
Does Kiadi Mundi know?
No.
Oh, that asshole.
See, I think they're gonna protect him. They're gonna say they're not gonna make it where it's like outright treason that he's not relaying something. I just don't think that they would do that. I'm pissed that they did it anyway and changed the stuff that maybe was or wasn't. It's just frustrating when you know something and people change it. It's the same thing whenever they change a street sign. And you're like, well, crap. I don't even know what is Avenue K.
I saw this tweet on Twitter, and it was like, y'all hate Kiadi Mundi being in the Acolyte because y'all care about canon and continuity. I hate Kiadi Mundi being in there because I hate him. I'm different.
Exactly.
The most hated Jedi on the council, no doubt. What is it?
Like him.
Okay. Sidebar. We'll come back to it. Kiadi Mundi's in the show, so we're gonna talk about what is your beef, Zane, with this guy.
He's a dick to everyone.
What do you mean?
Exactly. He's an asshole.
Dude, okay, look, listen. How many of y'all know people in this is gonna not cause some grief. Just hear me out. How many people know some folks like from I don't know, Maryland or Jersey or New York? Like it's just a whole different they don't hate you. They don't dislike you. It's just that's just how they talk. Like, what's wrong? Why are you doing that? Like they're not really jerks. It's just how we perceived it. So maybe, just maybe, Kiadi Mundi's just appears to be a jerk. He's just gruff on the outside.
No, he's an asshole.
Okay, fine.
He's an asshole.
I tried.
There's a difference.
Sorry. That's all I got. I got nothing. He's a turd. Like, every time we've seen him, he's just, what are you doing? Why are you frowning? God, the back of your head looks like the front of your face. Just on the frowns. Like, yeah. Oh my God, I'm getting upset. Okay, worse than Windu's attitude? Yeah, maybe.
No. Mace Windu is the absolute worst.
Well, Mace Windu was cool because he had a lightsaber that was purple.
Mace Windu, not Samuel L. Jackson. Love me some Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
I love Sam, but yeah, Mace.
Arrogant.
He always looked like he was pissed off. I don't think I ever seen him smile.
No. That's the challenge. Can we find a scene where he's actually smiling in any episode? I don't think so. Maybe in Clone Wars, but not in the films. Definitely not. We're gonna come back to this, Debbie. I saw this.
Let's not.
Oh yeah, that was a great graphic.
Go to your room.
Debbie, when does your campaign funding start? 2028, folks. We're gonna get a jump on the next one.
I'll be dead by then.
Let's hope not. Okay.
I'm old.
No.
I'm old.
No. Look at her. She's old. Just
Are we getting
am.
into Lucasfilm or like the presidential campaigning? What are we? I mean, I vote you in for Lucasfilm.
No, this was for president. It was a discussion last night.
No.
Yeah, it was on MC.
No,
I said I wanted
that.
I wanted nothing to do with politics or anything like that. And then Kat just took it and started a campaign.
Heck yeah.
So and now it's on TikTok. God help me.
Oh, of course.
He makes a fair point there. That's a fair point, Andrew. That's a fair point.
But so is 98% of the country. So
well, I'm like, what's Trump? Is he 74?
So I'm like, yeah,
so I'm 14 years younger than him. I'm not far behind.
Shit, then we got Supreme Court justices in their like 90s or something?
No. We did. No. When they don't know how to spell their name, they go ahead and make them retire.
Really?
Okay, that was fun. So so let's start looking at episode 5 deeper. Because I think there's some good stuff there. I really do. And we started out with the whole Yord and Jecki, and who else died? Well, there were some. I don't think they really gave us much screen time, but they died. They were with them. There were like 2 others, right?
The red shirts. Red shirts, Dana.
Yeah. The blue sabers. Yeah. So the old blue sabers. Well, because Yord was a yellow. No, he didn't have a yellow saber.
Yeah, he had a yellow one.
Yellow, and then Jecki had green. What was the lightsaber Jecki grabbed? Was that Kelnaka's saber? Was green.
It was green also.
Yeah. Oh, y'all missed that last week.
Oh, Kat quit it.
Kat just came in the show specifically to pop this in here. Yes, Debbie for president 2024.
Or dying. You mean D-I-E, die?
Oh, yeah. Who is Day? Day?
Oh.
Yeah, go Jedi. What?
No
way.
Who is this guy?
What's up, Ando? Ando 3818. What's up? Jedi. We'll talk about those cats here in a minute for sure. So when those folks all got unlived, it was really frustrating for me because I started to feel some level of, I don't want to say connection, but I mean, Jecki was a character they were kind of putting some writing into. And I was fine with it. I liked the relationship that she had with Osha. I liked how she was trying to be the good Jedi, and not have any emotion or passion or compassion, but very much so finally broke with Osha and Yord and having that smile or whatever. Put a shirt on, Yord. Come on. What is that? Well, we have a Kylo moment there. So I want to know y'all's thoughts. Like that was a kind of sore spot for me so far that Jecki's gone because they did spend a little time with her character. So what do you guys think?
I was gutted. I really liked her.
Yeah.
Got a little spice to her.
Yeah. The saber fighting was that the actress that did, like, was that her that did all that? Because that was awesome.
Yeah, there's behind the scenes, with her and Yord, where they're, or no, not Yord, Manny, who plays the stranger, going through lightsaber practice.
Wow.
Pretty intense.
See, that sort of dedication and Cam, this is where I think with you, I can't get on the actors, man. They're putting in the work. I mean, even however you feel about how May's written or whatever, like the actors are putting in the work, and especially in those saber fights,
they don't get the right people doing the saber fight choreography. That's an issue that was prevalent in the sequels. They don't have the right people in there doing that.
So I think though, when you look at, I don't want to say this, like, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I think we're spoiled. When we got to see what we've been waiting for our whole lives and seeing the final quote unquote big battle between Anakin or Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, we saw crap we were waiting for years for, and it was 6 months of them rehearsing that to be able to do it. 12 minutes that they kept out of all of it, saber fight, and it was sick and insane and not tricked and not putting someone on a wire and yanking them or what. It was awesome. So I think we might be a little spoiled, because is that not the standard now for lightsaber fights?
Well, you give the sequels a pass because clearly, I mean, there was only one guy, well, two, I don't know, who knows what they do with Ahsoka, but there was only one guy at the time of the sequels that that had a lightsaber and could teach people, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And clearly this Luke is just, well, Jake Skywalker was not very proficient in his Jedi training and teaching other Jedi, and so I can understand why Rey and Finn not having forms or whatever, not being good duelists makes sense. Right. But like Kylo, like losing to people that had never wielded a lightsaber before, kind of whack. But like, I mean, in this show, I was expecting it to be feel a little bit more like the prequels, considering the Jedi are at their prime. Like, people have their classes basically of forms that they go into, and I mean, this is the best that we've gotten since Disney's purchase.
This is true,
but I mean, I don't think that they have the right people in there. I think they have actual, like, quote unquote fight choreographers, and lightsaber dueling doesn't need to feel like kung fu or martial arts or anything. Like, it needs to feel like lightsaber fighting. You know what I mean?
The thing about lightsaber forms, it's very purposeful. I don't know much about martial art. Like, I'm not a karate or taekwondo, kung fu. But to your point, like, there's a huge difference, I think, in what we understood lightsaber fighting to be. I mean, people would face off, not even swing a saber for like 2 minutes, and they would just shift forms. We've seen this happen, not 2 minutes, but shifting, like, okay, he's moving into whatever form 3, I'm moving into Vapad or what. Like, that's like the chess part of and I don't know that we did get a little of that. We got a little of that in this, didn't we?
Well, I mean, but like you said, there's something that makes Anakin so special because of the form he uses. And when he becomes Darth Vader, how he has to adjust what form he's using and why that makes a difference, and why it's so important that if he doesn't burn, why he becomes so powerful, right?
No.
And we, like, one we don't. Yeah, sorry about my dog. He's tweaking out back here.
What is happening?
But they don't, like, we don't know anything about the characters, and we'll get some comic or some book or something about it, and but, like, I don't know, man. Like, it was fine. I think I'm a little spoiled, but it's fine. What are you doing, bro?
I had to. I'm sorry, brother. I had to.
No, Woods will come get him in a second. It's all good.
No, you're right. No, you're totally right, man. I'm with you.
Well,
Zane or Debbie, go ahead.
The only thing I can say, and I'm trying, because I've read I think I've read the majority of the Republic books, and they've never come across anybody like this for the last 800 years or 900 years, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they use it to take down lesser opponents, when attacked. But yeah, nothing like that. I mean, they didn't even know what he was.
No.
They were all like, "What the hell's that?"
A Sith.
Yeah. Jedi might call me a Sith.
Might.
This panel's going to be split on that. I might be the lone wolf. He's a Sith, man.
Oh, we're going to talk about
just go around throwing that word around, brother. I'm sorry.
That's right. If GOT and HOD, what's HOD?
House of Dragons.
Okay, can have epic choreography, and to Cameron's point earlier in the show, the series, 180 million. You got 180 million, right?
Is this Cat? This is Cat,
Yeah,
right?
this is Cat.
All right,
And
well,
she's
well,
like,
Cat,
it totally
here-
should have been better.
Here's the main difference, Cat. Those shows minus seasons 6.5, 7, 8 of Game of Thrones. Those shows have actual people that have respect for the source material, care about the source material, and want to put something good on the screen, and they have HBO behind them. So it's a little bit different of a studio.
True.
So,
but yeah, she's right. You're right. This is ridiculous. Like the amount of money you're pouring into the show, and you can't give us something better.
Next episode of House of the Dragon, one episode is going to be how many episodes we have left of Acolyte, or how many episodes we have left. The same amount of storytelling, and we're going to get we're 3 episodes into House of the Dragon. We know so much, and they only got $20 more million, and arguably have a more strenuous sort of picture that they must display to the audience with dragons and different settings, and just like the thing that my most gripe with the show is just doesn't, like, when we go to Coruscant, it doesn't feel like the Coruscant we know. It feels dead. Whereas when we're in House of the Dragon and we're seeing King's Land, like it feels like what we know, you know, if you've watched Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Huh?
Cat says we had better choreography in my high school version of Hamlet than we had in the
Cat, what's your rating on the show? Pop it in.
Oh,
Right
Pop
now.
it in. Are you watching? I
Yes.
assume she's watching. All right.
Yeah. Who jumped in? Ando. I didn't know who that was earlier. Ando, thanks for jumping. You know everyone, Janae, Cat. It's probably someone I know, and I'm gonna get yelled at. Like the time I was like, "Who's Solo Girl?" And it's, oh yeah, sorry, Daddy's right here.
It's about a 6. That's fair. That's fair. That's a fair rating.
About a 6, yeah, about a 6. Trying to stay a little dark sidey for this next little part, but I want to hear your thoughts too, Zane, on the
About
choreography.
On the choreography?
Yeah.
I thought specifically episode 5 had some pretty good choreography. I don't know. It wasn't anything crazy. It's like I've said last episode, the whole series can be summed up into one word, and that's mid. You know, it's like you look at choreography, and you had the original trilogy, which you have to admit, original trilogy was never going to be the best. It was kind of iffy. Right, that's the middle point right now.
Technical limitations.
But it still is. You can't just be like, oh, Halo Combat Evolved's graphics were amazing for the time, which means they still hold up, but they don't hold up.
Okay, well, I'll fight you on that hill because I think
you
the
are-
graphics do hold up.
You are
Even though my
Cat-
4K
Nostalgia. Anyways,
no.
Josiah, are you in the chat?
He is.
Get on this, man. Get
So
on this,
if
man.
you watch any of the old space stuff that was released at the same time, and we're talking about Buck Rogers, we're talking about Battlestar Galactica, we're talking about not the new BSG, the old school, like all that stuff, nothing compares. And if you jump 10 years, nothing compares. And if you go to right now, the only way it quote unquote compares is because of CGI. And so I get your nostalgia. I will have to beg your pardon and disagree respectfully that the live action model work that they did does still hold up today. Now I'm not talking about like Rancor. No. Like the ships and all that stuff. Yes, the stop motion animation, we could have totally done with that. That does not ever hold up. Unless it's the California Raisins or Rudolph. But outside
Hey, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, man. I watched Attack of the Clones this weekend, and that shit is way better than what we've been watching the last 5 weeks.
well, I was
and
yeah. Do we need to
I was
go?
getting to that
Do
point.
we need to scratch that scab back open or whatever was happening in our chat this week?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
So the OT, middle ground. Sequels, they suck. We get it. They suck.
Let's go.
You just flat out. You have it. Yes, bravo, Zane. Bravo. It's about time.
Choreography wise, they suck.
Just choreography.
Well, this is what the topic's about. Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
Let's stay on topic here. Then you have the prequels. Amazing choreography. We already know about that. I don't even want to say the original trilogy was mid. The original trilogy was pretty good. You know, I mean, Empire Strikes Back, that fight scene in itself is amazing. Right in the middle of all of this sits the Acolyte.
Just mid.
Perfectly in the middle. Just mid.
So far.
Not bad, not good. Everything about it is mid.
Man, this guy would make a great politician. You've got a sleeper here.
Take a
Dana.
position, man. Take a position.
I'd vote for him.
Find a hill and stand on it. So, from a Sithy perspective, right? That's what we do here. I want to shift a little bit. So, in the segue, the lightsaber fight and the choreography, let's talk about his saber. What's going on with this dude's saber? I watched it twice. I need to watch it again, at least that scene a few times. I couldn't actually tell.
He's got that Cal Kestis lightsaber, you know, where it like pops off at the end. But it's more like Ahsoka's little thing. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Okay.
But I think that's kind of the vibe.
Yeah, I think it's a short saber dagger.
Yeah.
It's not quite as long as the actual lightsaber.
So he just like pulled it off and went like hit it the button 3 times. Right. He wasn't like stabbing. It was just bang, bang, bang. Right. Okay. And what was this light whip stuff people were talking about like just throwing us off?
3 episodes.
She's coming in, brother. She's coming in.
That was tonight.
Oh, okay. So I'm down with the light whip. As I've stated, the old Sith Dominion, where this name came from, was an old RP forum where we did Sith RP stuff. And one of my master had a light whip. I know it's not real, whatever, kind of. Anyways, and I thought that light whip was always awesome, but it was in canon at the time. It was in the expanded universe, and I don't remember what book it first started in, but it was amazing. I mean, it was fun. It was cool. It was a whip, and you're like killing people with lightsaber. So I thought now that I know episode 6, we'll get to finally see that. Then that was a surprise that he had some modified saber. Is it not?
Pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Okay, here's the thing. Why are Sith lightsabers red?
Where Sith in canon or in Legends?
They bleed them.
Who cares,
bleed
brother?
Kyber crystal, right?
In canon, they bleed them.
One more time. Debbie for president and Zane for
Amen, baby.
I'll take it.
Get our people on the ballot. Wait. Zane, don't you have to be 35? Nah, we'll lie on it. We're fine.
Get on that, Zane.
The first appearance was actually in the Star Wars 1977 comic book number 95.
Are you serious? Comic. Who had it?
Andrew, I think.
Luke. Yeah. Orozco killing it. Good to see your name again. Been a while, my friend.
Lore
So
master.
yeah, Lumi. Awesome. She's one of my favorites, man. I love me some Lumi.
Zane, you're good, brother. No age limit.
Wait, what? Is it only for president?
Like, do you have to be an adult,
my
Cat?
age, and then you'll be all right.
Oh my goodness.
Do you have to be of age, Cat? Like 18 or older? I assume so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Imagine being 18. You could be the vice president of the United States, but you can't drink or buy nicotine.
I don't know. According
Well,
to
can't is a very strong and kind of word that might insinuate it's impossible. All right. So light whip and this other fastened whatever lightsaber. When that fight was happening, before his helmet was removed, I felt I knew for sure who it was.
It was
And I
Ron.
was correct.
Everybody
Oh
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was-
Did I
it
know
was-
before episode 5? We
Yeah.
talked about it. We had our suspicions.
Is that bad though? I mean, I think it was a twist that we saw coming, but it wasn't a bad twist.
It was very
So-
underwhelming for me personally.
I want to address this real quick. Kat, Sith kyber crystals, in most cases, were synthetic. That was Legends.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I agree. In my heart of hearts, they're synthetic.
Because Luke
Bleeding is something that's occurred in new canon. That the reason it turns red is because they inflict pain, damage, whatever, on the possibly sentient crystals, which causes them to bleed, which is just bizarre.
Really? It's pretty badass to me personally.
Okay, here's the difference, right? I'm an old man. I grew up where no, they did not go get their own crystals. They're Sith. Why would they go dig up their own crystal? They don't do that. They just synthetically make the crystal.
But like I think it makes like, I think like the bleeding. I don't know. Maybe in terms of Jedi, in terms of them hunting out the crystal, like it makes Obi-Wan's comments in like Attack of Clones, like this weapon is your life. Like it makes it to me feel like the saber has more attachment to the user, right? If they're going out, they're going to Ilum, they're getting find it, like, you know what I mean? And then when the Sith do what they do, I think it's pretty sick.
The Sith
I'm
do
fine
it.
with either of them.
Usually, a Jedi they've killed, their saber, they take the crystal and bleed it. Debbie, look like you're about to freaking light me up.
I thought Palpatine in the comics made Vader go out. He had to go out and kill a Jedi and take their lightsaber and take the crystal and bleed it. I thought that was in the comics.
It is, but I think it's the newer comics. It's not in the old. I could be wrong.
Isn't? I don't read the comics, so I don't know.
It's the newer comics. He almost dies doing it. So
yeah,
and I believe he sees a vision of him.
Switor mention.
He thinks to. I don't know. He sees a vision about what him going back to Obi-Wan. It's a pretty sick comic. Would recommend.
Josiah, we gonna start that up. I can tell you where all my old folks landed. If you Google New Sith Brotherhood, jump into there. They are still going. I don't know how strong they're going, but I jump in there every now and then and say hi to my old friends. So yeah, you guys check out New Sith Brotherhood. It's a Sith role playing forum game. Whatever. It's super fun. And just tell them Darth Marda sent you.
Marda.
If you Google Darth Marda, Marda, or Kiali, Kiali, Marda, there's some stuff out there about my character that I created. Sweet. Yeah, we need to get some of this stuff. So how did you? So when we look at how we know this happens, he has a double-bladed. So some way, somehow, did he kill some other Jedi somewhere, or did he just acquire it? You know, we don't know. And maybe there's something in episode 6. Good.
Is he a Sith?
Good.
Well,
He's a Sith, Zane.
Never said he was. He never said he was in episode 5.
He literally says it. I don't want your hypotheticals.
He says you might call me a Sith.
Mm-hmm. But you never said
You're gonna drive me crazy, man.
And Kylo Ren's theme plays.
See, that's so. What was that in? Was that in our chat? Was it you guys that were talking about this? Hold on, I gotta look now.
I don't know.
Yeah, I sent the Leslie Headland article.
That was too many days ago. I don't remember that part.
I also sent Lord Marta's profile.
There's a reason it's in there, but we don't know yet. We don't know many things.
Talked about.
It's been so long.
With the Sith. So, why do you think? And this is my little side thing. Why do you think they are so around the Sith, because you had Snoke, which never said Sith, I don't think, ever. Kylo never said Sith. The only person that ever said Sith in the sequels was Palpatine. So what is their deal? Why are they so bleh with Sith? Can someone
Because they
help
don't
me?
understand what they're doing.
Well, they should watch our show. Pete's sake.
Amen, brother.
We have had episodes that truly explain why the Sith are who they are and why they do what they do.
That would require them to care, Dana. They do not care.
Look, so last week I was doing TikTok during the show, and I looked over, and so I posted the TikTok clip where it was like, you know what, we're giving it a fair shake, this and that, and I mean, there's some good redeeming qualities. Like, you had a Wookiee Jedi. Oh yeah, then you killed him. But but I really
don't have the
felt that
budget
way.
to make him fight on screen, man.
You have
That's
something
coming.
that we wanted
That's
for a
coming.
very long time, and you didn't give it to us. I'm upset about the Wookiee being dead already.
We'll see him die, or I mean, we'll see him fight.
Was that last week? We were talking about like what would have happened if, because Kelnet, surely he would be as old as at least Tarful. I mean, Chewie was 300 years old too. Like they all know each other, right? I say they're all like it's a big Kashyyyk's a big planet, Dana. That just because like they don't know each other.
Well, he was a Jedi,
He is a Jedi. Yeah.
so he was taken.
Oh,
Kashyyyk.
taken. Oh, see.
But only if his parents allowed him to be taken.
You must
have to-
allow
you
us
have
to
remember
take
this.
him.
It's not
Only if you allow us to take him.
if you want to. Yeah.
Well, the Jedi can be very
Yes.
persuasive.
I don't know. What
Oh
you're
yeah, I bet
talking
they
about.
can.
Why are you waving your
Unless
hand?
you're
Like
wearing-
you're some sort of Jedi?
Unless you're wearing a Cortosis helmet, and just wear Magneto.
Unless you're Magneto.
helmet.
Really tinfoil
The
hat.
Jedi.
Yeah, I think that's an
Dude.
interesting.
Fassbender in Star Wars, that would be badass.
Who?
Michael Fassbender, Sith,
Michael.
and then who
Fassbender.
plays Magneto?
Oh, the new
And then who
Magneto.
plays Magneto?
The new
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Sorry, the new young Magneto.
Yeah. Sorry.
Wait, we're not allowed to talk about that. Is that an MCU Monday thing? Just kidding. We can talk Magneto because they're making us talk about it because they gave him a Magneto helmet. Come on, you have a
Yeah.
T-shirt?
Merch?
Oh, merch!
Dana, what the hell, man? We don't have merch. What the
Yeah,
hell?
I've got 2 T-shirts. I've got 2 T-shirts.
Yeah,
and some
yeah.
stickers.
Well, there's 4 of
You
us.
have 2 T-shirts. The
I'll
rest of
send
us
you the
don't.
link and you can buy
have
one.
T-shirts.
I do have them already designed and ready to rock, but
Oh, we'll send the link, brother.
I know, right? All right, putting it out to the chat. Do you want a Sith Dominion shirt? They're pretty awesome.
Yes.
I've
I
worn
want
it
one.
on the show a few times. It's pretty cool.
I want one.
My
I
wife.
might make my own if it doesn't look cool.
Hold on a second. We got a mess.
So, good day outside. Looks pretty.
All right, sorry about that. All right, when it comes to the Sith, so what? I know you said that they don't care or whatnot, but I think there's got to be a
You don't
real-
understand.
You think it's a lack of it's an incompetent or a lack of understanding of what Sith truly are, or
Yes.
no, Zane?
Yes.
No,
Oh.
I think if they see anyone using dark side and Jedi would be like Sith.
Debbie,
You
what do
see
you
red lightsaber swinging.
This is my. For the most part, for this show, I have been saving my judgment until it's done and over with, and maybe it turns out to be super good, or maybe not something I'll watch again. But my major disappointment with this show is that I was really hoping it would be all Sith, no Jedi. That's what I was really hoping, and that's my
What's the name of the
major.
show?
Huh?
What's the name of the show? What's the name of the show?
The Acolyte.
Acolyte.
How often has it been on screen? How often has it been talked about?
Who's
the Acolyte? He's the Acolyte.
He said he wants one.
Mm-hmm.
But why? Why is he doing what he is doing? Why? I don't understand why he. And it may be explained. I hope it is. But why does he do what he does in episode 5? What is the point?
He wants a pupil. He said so.
He's an apprentice, and there's a bigger baddie out there.
There has to be.
So is it Tenebris? I mean, it has to be him, right?
It could be him, or I mean, Plagueis is around.
Is around.
Plagueis would be
yeah.
I feel like he'd be super young, though, right?
No younger than Palpatine in.
But this show's
Palpatine's always been evil.
But this show is 100 years before the end of Revenge of the Sith, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, and
at least I think it's like 130 or something. Yeah.
So it'd be.
No, it's 100. Wait, what?
I thought it was
What did you say?
130. I could be wrong.
Isn't it 100 years before the end of Revenge of the Sith, correct? Zane, look it up, brother.
Go on. Type quickly.
I thought it was 100 years before. Well, it just says 100 years before the rise of the galactic whatever.
Yeah, I know.
100 years before we ever met Anakin Skywalker.
100 years before we met.
So I'm just gonna assume it's 100 years before
130.
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace.
Or 100, yeah. 100 years before Phantom Menace. 130 or no 100. How old was Anakin when he became?
It's
Darth
100
Vader?
years before the Phantom Menace. 110 before it's
20. Well, he was in his 20s for sure. Like 22, I think 23.
Jedi business. Go back to your drinks.
I mean,
That's not Hayden's fault. That was terrible directing. Okay.
Yeah, that movie's still fire though.
Not that part.
Look, man, it's good stuff. It's good Star Wars.
I'm with you. I thought we'd get a hell of a lot more Sith stuff. You call it the Acolyte. We all know that it has to do with Sith. And I appreciate that you're putting this like the Phantom Menace. And everything is happening here. And you only give the alternate story 20% of the screen time.
Dana, we have 60 minutes, man. There's still hope, brother.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
More screen time is our only hope, and we're not going to get it. The credits are 5 minutes.
Man.
Well,
so,
I mean, the big mystery for this whole show is what the hell Soul did.
For real, man.
That's the mystery. The stranger, whatever you want to call him, that wasn't the mystery. The mystery is what did Soul do?
Darth Teeth.
We all know what Soul did, right?
What did he do? He pushed May off.
He totally slaughtered those women.
See,
he totally killed them all. Why? Why does he do that? Why are they wanting to take these 9-year-old girls?
Well,
why?
The witches probably like attacked them and then they defended themselves, and that was it.
Okay, but when we see them, and Debbie, gosh, we didn't get you on to talk about this last week, but man, we got pissed off about that. How did all the Jedi die? Because one scene, a fire starting, the next scene, they're all dead. And I didn't see any saber strikes or anything in them whenever they panned, and they're just dead because of the fire smoke. Like,
and the mountain's like blowing up. Like, what is going on, man?
They walk right past these and step over dead bodies. Like, how did they die? They haven't told us yet.
Also, is May bipolar?
No, there's two. There's two of them. There's one named Osha.
There's one named Osha.
I think I said that on Cantina that she was bipolar.
Because literally last episode, she's like, "I'm going to turn myself into the Jedi. I have information they want." Well, you know nothing. And then Jackie attacks her to arrest her, and she's fighting back. Why are you fighting back? You know, and then she runs away, and then she tries to take Osha, then she knocks her out, and then she takes her identity, and then Soul doesn't understand that Soul doesn't know the difference between May and Osha, even though one of them's obviously a terrible human being and the other one's not.
And one of
supposedly.
them was the one's former master. So you think they'd have still some sort of.
And she's got the tattoo on her head. You know, I mean, they're. I don't know. May's bipolar.
Have you seen that movie?
Get her some medicine.
Equilibrium with Christian Bale. I know,
Yes, sir.
Zane, you've seen it. Can't. Great movie. So there's a scene towards the end where there's this fight with some swords, and there's a move that Christian Bale does, and without giving too much away, I mean, he basically slices this dude's face off. Like how did this guy? When May flips her head over, it goes like this. I was expecting her face to just fall off. Like, first of all, who gets that close to a lightsaber, this close, and not feel the heat? Like, I thought that was kind of stupid. It was a minor thing that I think they did to make it look cool, but I thought it was ridiculous.
And she cuts it just perfectly to match
100%.
To match Osha's hair.
100%. Not even like a part the other way or something. Like, just long and short.
I mean, they still have the same hairstyle 16 years later. That's also
They
interesting.
just made costume design easier.
Thank you. Finally, Kat. Thank you, Kat. Finally, someone said it. Evil will always triumph because good is dumb. Thank you, Rick Moranis. Spaceballs.
See, another thing I don't like about Kamir's actions is like I said it in the group chat, like in a way it's similar to Palpatine's motivations in the Plagueis book with what he says about how the Jedi are like he thinks that the fact that the Jedi don't want to take ultimately the power to what it can be is a failure to the Jedi, right? But the way he says it, that I want to be free to use my powers, and the Jedi are like, that's the whole notion of the show. The Jedi are these oppressive, terrible people. And it's like,
I agree.
it's
I mean,
like,
no, I agree with what you're saying. Sorry.
like,
I agree.
like you got to write that motivation a little bit better. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
Just-
every facet outside of Jedi belief of the Force is ridiculed, and it's the Jedi are holding on to this and they're not allowing other people to use it. I never felt that way about and you guys know on this show we gave the Jedi tons of shit, and I've never said that. Not one time have we ever said that on this show, because I don't think that's how the Jedi really. I don't think, but I'm not a writer on the show. On that show, I just don't feel like that's an accurate representation of the Jedi that we've had up to this point. Does that mean that there weren't tiny bits of Jedi that were plotting and planning it? No, of course, because we have Count Dooku, who was still a Jedi while he was doing some of the shit he was stuff he was doing. I don't care shit he was doing. So, had to take a breath. Getting excited. But you see what I'm saying? The Sith, if they are truly, if the Jedi is going to turn into a Sith, if the Sith are truly who we think that they are, then they are going to have some sort of plan, some sort of whatever to do it. But the Jedi, they're not just sitting up here on these high horse chairs pointing their fingers. No, you can use it. No, you cannot use it. Are they there to protect? Absolutely. So when people are wielding AR-50, AR, whatever they're called, 15s all over, well, that's the wrong way, and you're doing it wrong, and you should be scolded, and you should be taken away, and all these things of you're doing it wrong. That's different. I think the Jedi's approach is more along the lines of, that's fine if you believe that, but don't be messing with stuff. And that's where the Jedi had an issue with the Dathomir witches. They were doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And that's where I think the Jedi had problem with these witches. I'm not saying I disagree with the witches, either side. What I'm saying is I understand why the Jedi perhaps would be concerned not control who has the power, but concerned with who has the power and who is how they are wielding it, because they're the protectors, right? If you've got a sect of witches that are sacrificing humans or aliens or whatever for their spells, well, of course the Jedi are going to want to step in, because they're the purveyors of peace. They're the purveyors of justice. They're the purveyors of protection. It makes sense. But I do not agree that they hold all the power and dole it out to who they say can use it. I'm adamantly against that. That was a tirade. My bad. But I mean, do you think that the way the Jedi are being portrayed are accurate, or do you feel the way I do, that it's just a little much?
I think the Jedi's main problem, which seems to be the problem in this show, and it was the problem in the other movies, is that they're what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say controlled. For lack of a better word, they're controlled by the government, the Senate.
Sure. Well, is this like one of those executive judicial? You think that's how that government was set up, right? I mean, you had kind of the law, the executive branch. What is it? Executive, judicial, and legislative. So, do you think that so you've got the Senate and you've got the Jedi. So, in branches of government, checks and balances, who's the check for the Jedi?
The Senate. I mean, they can't. The Jedi can't do any. I mean, even in Legends, all through the books, it's always we got to check with the Senate before we go do this or that or whatever. I mean, a few of them went rogue. Luke went rogue a couple of times, but for the most part, they're always limited by the Senate, freaking government.
So they were following the rules for the most part. We know, based in several conversations within the films and within the shows, there were always those little tiny underhanded things, but nothing as big as this. And so I'm with you, Deb. I think they had a layer of a level of control, but the Senate was who allowed them to do and go. And I think at the beginning of what was the first one? Phantom Menace. When Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon first go on to the command ship in the very beginning, you're looking at two dudes that are there. They're not there to start a war. Neither of them are a military rank. There's no General Kenobi yet, right? These folks are there to administer and barter peace. They really are there for that. Are they armed and are they ready to protect themselves? Absolutely, right? So when I think of Jedi and control and these things, that's what I think of. I think of the Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon scene in the very beginning of that movie, and they're there to negotiate. They're there to try to bring peace. They're not there to go start a fight. But that's easy to do whenever you haven't seen a red lightsaber in a millennia. Kiadi Mundi. So now we know there have been other things. And do you feel, this is a little follow-up to that's not in the show, do you feel that maybe there were other things that occurred with red-sabered people that they never reported on or were swept under over 1,000 years? What are the odds?
No.
Yeah. You don't think anyone else saw anything in 1,000 years? Would the Sith be that secretive?
That was the whole point.
How does the Rule of Two play into that? you want to keep a secret, you limit it to who knows. So I know, right, Dana? What? Yeah, we're gonna circle this shit back because Darth Bane on the Rule of Two is what allows something like this to happen. Can we agree? If there's the Malgus Sith, then we've got a whole group of Sith, right? Like, whatever. But if it's the Bane Sith, then we only have two. We have two, and we always have kind of a third because number 2 is always trying to get a 3. We know this. So talk to me about that. Talk to me about how you're seeing the Sith be played out. And Debbie, you may have a little advantage we don't after seeing episode 6, but if you can think about back to episode 5, what is it about the Sith right now that we can, one, agree with that they're doing, and two, well, actually, first, is he Sith?
Oh.
Kind of touched on it. Let's just talk about that first. Is he Sith? We haven't actually had that conversation straight up. No. Are you feeling the Ren thing here? You're saying yes, he is Sith, and you're saying yes. He is Ren. Are you saying Sith and Ren?
I think he's a Sith.
I think he's Ren.
He's
or
Ren.
maybe he's not Ren right now, but it'll lead into Ren. And I want to touch on something because I haven't. I don't know if you guys talked about it in the chat or not because I don't always keep up and I don't want to go scrolling back for days.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
But did you notice that the stranger was using witch powers?
What? No. Are you talking about the elemental, whatever he did at the beginning, or something else?
Well, I mean, Yord.
Yeah.
Yord said something about, he gets in your head and he stays there. And then, I don't know if it was Osha or me. Oh, I think it was Osha said my mother could do that.
Mm.
But how does Yord know that?
Know what?
Because he could hear him. She heard him too. May heard him.
Yeah, when Osha was running right before Soul came in and knocked the lightsaber away so it wouldn't whack her down. Yeah, there was those scenes where, she's running and then all of a sudden you see his face and he's, calling her names and saying shit to her. And, then it goes back to her and then he, it's like right there in his head. And how the hell does he disappear so fast?
Sorcery.
Ninja.
Sorcery. And this leads in, and I've said this on Cantina, this leads, and don't ask me how, but I'm thinking, because Cam, you were wanting to know how the witches died. I don't think they did.
Oh.
I think that was a hallucination of some sort. Because they're they possess all the Jedi. That's why they're all attacking each other. That's how what's his face? Timu Kenobi gets his scar, across the eye. He gets that from Kelnaka. They're all possessed. That's why they're all attacking each other.
Oh, like Scarlet Witch and all the Marvel heroes attacking each other, right? Was that Scarlet Witch that made them do that? Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, that's just my theory. I'm throwing that out there. I don't think they're dead, or if they are, I think Coral might have survived because we didn't see her body, and maybe she's not controlling the stranger, but she's in cahoots.
See, yeah, you're talking about that's the Zabrak, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't trust her.
The strict mother.
Yeah, she's.
I never trusted her.
But if he's controlling the stranger, why is he trying to kill May when she betrays him? If that's his master,
It's true.
why would she allow that?
Because you have another one in
him. I
Osha?
think she's given him an advantage over the Jedi to get rid of all the Jedi.
Hey, sorry, I missed this one. This was a good one. Hold themselves back from using force potential. Wait, I did post this one. All right, who will win? Batman, Superman.
Batman wins. We already saw that.
Batman, yeah.
Amen, brother.
100%. You know.
Kryptonite bullet.
No, I'm with you, Debbie. I think I agree.
That's a good theory, Debbie.
Something is definitely off, and that certainly explains it, because I haven't felt comfortable with where I felt it was going, like a stretch. You're making a lot of where were you last week? You're making a lot of sense to me.
Well, I mean, I'm probably completely wrong because, I spit theories out all the time, and the majority, once in a blue moon, I'll get it right, and I'm such a happy camper, but yeah, I don't know. It's just that I don't think she's his master. I think there is still a bigger boogeyman out there, whether it's Tenebris or Plagueis or somebody else we don't know about. Who the hell knows?
You ain't just gonna have Cortos's armor. Like it had to be given, or he had to have sought it out. Like as part of his quest.
Pay attention in tonight's episode.
Okay.
Pay attention.
Okay.
I just I hope Debbie's theories would be very redeeming qualities for the show. But there's just not enough time, man.
You could write the show. Yeah.
You could probably write the show blindfolded. It'd be better than what we got.
We're gonna write a new series. A fan series called
That's what we're running for.
Opinion. There we go.
But there's just there's 60 minutes left after tonight's episode. That's not a lot of time to close these storylines. And I said it in the chat, but if they are following the rule of two, which I believe is still canon because of the movies, Darth Teeth or whatever his name is, doing what he does makes absolutely no sense. His real master or whoever would be furious with him, because Palpatine was furious with Maul going to the underbellies of Coruscant whacking people up. And he was like, if you do that again, I will murder you.
Palpatine had, how many people on the sideline?
That's different.
It is
different because it's Palpy. He can tell you do this, but you're not allowed to do this. It's Palpatine.
Well, now correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been ages since I've read. I think it was the Bane books. What was his apprentice's name? Was it Zara or something?
Zana.
Zana. Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't she in pursuit of a apprentice while she was still Bane's?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit on the show.
But it was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, but she was very what you call it? She was very I forget the word. What is it called when you really are faithful to someone, but it's not faithful? Loyal. She was very loyal. Xana was very loyal. Come on.
She was patient. She was patient.
Okay, I'll give you that. Very patient.
She was waiting for the right moment to strike, whether that was him right now or him at 102.
At 102, she would have waited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Debbie's
looking at me like I'm crazy. Are we not talking about the same?
Bane forced her to fight him because he knew that she was just going to wait till he got away.
So, yeah, that's right.
No,
So
I was making faces because everybody was cutting out, and I'm like, what the?
Oh, that's you, because it was solid on our side. So, sorry, Debbie. I'm going to have to blame that on you. Oh, nice. That's the first one that I've noticed. Doesn't mean it's the first one on the show, but it's the first one I've noticed on the show, Debbie.
My glasses were sliding down.
I had to push them up. Wow. Oh, here we go. Hold up. What? Yeah, let's put this. Sith also kept Outer Realms. Yeah, dealt with the Hut. Yeah, it's true. There was a lot of in the Hut space. yes, and with the bounty. So, and this is something that I don't. Lucas, I gotta find this, but there was a bit about on the Executor when you had the bounty hunters. You had Bosk and of course Boba. I don't know who else was on. Dengar was on there. IG-88, no, Cat, no, not Cad Bane. Anyways, all these guys, these bounty hunters are up there, and the bounty hunter scum or whatever. We don't need their help, but they worked in tandem a lot together. The relationship that Darth Vader and Boba Fett had is beyond what you see on the screen. They've known each other for much longer, which is why he says, "What? No disintegration rate." So I think to that point, yes, all that in the Outer Rim, and something I've always thought about. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts. There's a lot of not necessarily unexplored territory in the Outer Rim, but there is a lack of Republic presence or Imperial presence later on in the Outer Rim, and always has been. Do you feel that lends to Bane and Palpatine, like being able to escape and do some shady stuff in the background? I mean, it seems to make sense that would be the case. What do you think? Them staying out in the Outer Rim, waiting for the right time. Is that how they operated?
Until Palpatine and Plagueis, yes.
Before Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that would make the most sense.
So my question, what changed? Why did Palpatine feel like this was the way and not what Bane was working through with him? That's the question. Why the change? I know, right? I don't know. Do we have any lore on why Palpatine chose to do what he did? Was that a direct... I didn't read those two books, so was this something that Bane worked with him on? I don't know. Zane, you read those books, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, Bane didn't work with Palpatine's plan. That was way... Tenebris, Plagueis, Palpatine all had, like you said, I think they were loyal to the rule of two, but it was more of up to their own interpretation. And Palpatine already had ties to politics
because he was in the Senate since he was 12 or whatever.
Yeah, and so and then when Plagueis finds him and basically grooms him to be his apprentice, and then we realize just how much of the final boss Palpatine is. He realizes that, it's kind of that his master plan is what happens. But he spent so much time learning the dark side, learning how to conceal his presence, learning how to do the things that we see him do instead of just miraculously somehow being able to do them,
And this is not a knock to what's her name that plays May /Osha. But there's
the same character, dude.
There's a certain level of professionalism in being an actor that I pray one day I could be even a tenth of with my silly community theater. And Ian McDermott is the one that does it. There are moments as Palpatine when he's having the conversation with Anakin and he's telling Anakin, you should learn all the Force, not the dogmatic ways of the Jedi. If you look at his hand, it's twitching. His hand is twitching. He doesn't have Parkinson's. He doesn't have whatever. Like the actor, like he's acting. He is ready to do the with a saber like he does in later on in the movie against Mace and company. He's twitching his hand. So let's talk a little bit about that. How is it that we have actors that are being directed and told, or just actors doing these things, and we don't have that? I don't feel that. It feels very rushed in what we're watching right now. And I get it, Cam. I know you 30 minutes an episode, 45 minutes an episode. But do you guys feel it's been rushed?
Well, Andor did it perfectly.
That sort of tiny quality, like those bits that mean so much.
Well, I mean, the writing just doesn't help them. But I mean, Andor had the best part of he actually had people who grew up being theater actors and actresses, and then they had a great script to work with. And when you get those two together, it's kind of you get the final monologue scene or whatever in Andor.
I'm going to interrupt here. We have seen the interviews where Carrie Fisher and all of them are like, nobody talks like this. This sucks. Like nobody's going to understand it. They're not going to get it. Like we thought this. Like the actors are saying, Luke or Mark and all that. They're all saying this will never work because it's no one talks like this. So here we are, people talking, I guess, more normal. I don't feel
because they're talking at us, Dana. That like they're telling us what the story is instead of them
being the story.
Yes, that like that's the issue. Your parents were killed. Like how many times do we hear that? Your mother's died, or like they tell us things. Yeah, like that. I mean that's not a Disney problem. That's a entertainment show problem, right?
That's true.
But they're telling us things. You don't need to tell. If you have a good story, we will understand what's going on, instead of telling us. You know, that's my biggest gripe.
That's an interesting point. I had not considered the storytelling in, we'll just say the original trilogy. Heads and tails different than even the prequels. The way in which the story is being told is you're watching through a window. You're watching this take place. But in the Acolyte, it feels like we're telling you a story. So watch us act out this story. I think that's kind of what you're getting at. Watch what we're telling you this story is, as opposed to look through the window.
Dude, we've been sitting through 5 episodes of them telling us all these bad things that Soul has done, and we know nothing. Nothing. True. It's going to be some throwaway line or something.
So I said it last week. I said, you know what you're going to do? You're going to take this character that we're falling in love with, Soul. I absolutely love this character through episode 5, and you're going to make me hate him.
Yeah, and he's a terrible human being.
He's a terrible person.
There's no such thing as anymore.
Many reasons that we can talk about in the Twitch afterwards of why that Twitch After Dark. Why Soul has to fulfill a specific role for maybe these writers. I don't want to go down that path.
You know what all good movies and all good shows recently have had in common?
What?
They don't tell us what's going on. We sit there for the 45, 60 minutes, 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours, whatever, and we watch the story take place. Nobody's telling us anything.
You know what?
We're watching a story. We're not listening to a story.
What is it called? Mayor of Kingstown. Have you guys seen this show? Yeah.
My dad said the show's
Let me tell
great.
You, Renner as Hawkeye was good. I enjoy it, like, thoroughly. Like, great. Him as this character, I would be a criminal and work for. Like, this dude, like, he's so good. Anyway, just comparing, right? I guarantee I'm sorry, I sounded like I yelled. I just echoed on somebody. I guarantee, Zane, how much for an episode of Mayor of Kingstown? Because what we see there, and we're talking about shoot 'em up, cop, type thing. I'm guessing, Debbie, by your reaction, you've seen the show. It's a great show.
I love the show.
I'm caught up. Like every week, I watch the new episode. It's that good.
12 to 15 million per episode.
That's okay. So it's comparable, right, to 180 million, to 200 million. And they have a lot more episodes. I guess they have like 10, 15 episodes. Point is, well written, well choreographed, well directed. The the actors or actresses are fantastic. Everything about this show, amazing. For the same amount of money, the ears get it wrong. Look, the Sith are something in this universe. Something more than what we're getting out of the Acolyte, and something less in the Acolyte than I think we anticipated. Can we agree on that? From a dark side perspective, we are not getting what we thought we would get. I did not write an article last month for GNN because I asked Poobah, please don't make me write this month. I have just been so busy with my job and whatever. But man, I have wanted to. So I think I'm gonna have to pop a mid-season review on this show. There were some things though. I want to stop talking and ask you guys a couple questions. We talked about the plot and character progression a little bit, and it's in our outline. Talk to me about the insistence on using droid companions in what's the name of that? Pip. So you've got Pip. What's the one that? Kate. What's the guy's name?
Kanan?
No, the video game.
Cal.
Kessis. He's got a little droid. What was Starfighter? What's her name? I can't remember her name.
Hera?
No. What was the new was it not Starfighter? What was the name of the new? It's like 3 years old now. Where you're in space shooting.
Squadrons?
Squadrons. Thank you. Star Wars Squadrons. What's her name? Iden Verso. I didn't even get to it. Iden Verso has a little droid that sits on her shoulder. Like, is this just a thing now? You got a little pocket droid that gets you out of trouble. I did not like that. I felt like it's a cop-out. I think we've already seen it all over the Star Wars universe, and it's not necessary. It's necessary so that you can, put the light on his back or whatever. You know what I'm saying.
He just wiped through 5 Jedi Knights, and Moss are what takes him out of the battle.
Thank you. Debbie, tell me, how do you feel about that? 5 Jedi Knights he kills, and moths take him out, or at least carry him away.
Maybe he couldn't. Maybe they don't create a presence in the Force. I don't know. God damn it.
Okay,
I won't ask you any more questions.
My screen keeps going dark, and I'm like, I got a new monitor, and I need to change the sleep mode or whatever it's called. What was the question? Droids?
Those droid, yeah, like everyone has a pocket droid now, or a shoulder droid, like a parrot or a monkey. I don't understand this. Why does everyone?
Well, I mean, in the prequels, everybody had a freaking astromech.
Yeah, that could do something. Sorry,
these guys can do something.
Yeah,
Debbie,
be a light.
Debbie, is Basil in the next episode?
Yes.
Let's go. I love me some Basil. He's the tracker.
Yeah.
He's hey, don't you hate on the top 5 character in this show, Dana? It's a very low bar. I understand. But Basil's badass.
I like Basil.
I think if Chewie was there, he'd be on a spit over a fire.
I'd say top 4.
That's true. I mean, and I don't think in real life Chewie would have felt sad and not eaten the roasted pork. He would have chomped on it and just looked at him and just dared him to come at him.
Honestly, there's just nothing more that solidifies just George Lucas and his just randomness than making Chewbacca and Yoda friends. Just we get that little we get that little tidbit in Revenge of the Sith, and you're like, what? He just leaves. It's never mentioned again.
Right?
Maybe they swore secrecy or something. It was a cover-up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Time out. His little escape pod. I know that's not what we're talking about in this episode, and we've lost all of our listeners.
But we're just talking.
There's one. I think it's Shield Maiden. Thank you, Cad. So how is it that the only quote-unquote escape pod on the planet was just the right size for Yoda, and a Chewbacca, a Wookiee would never fit in this thing? How did that? I love Episode 3, but that does not make sense to me. Someone help me understand that. Yeah, you guys you never thought of that, did you? How come that pod only fit him and wouldn't have fit a Wookiee?
It's just one of those things that,
just one of those days.
George pops in and, at that time, at that time, everybody hated the prequels, but nobody questioned him.
Here.
He just put shit in and nobody questioned it.
His story, brother. He can do what he wants.
Everyone questioned him, but
so if you, one of the things they did do, and this was very marvelly, was make that connection to Empire and Yoda and his hut and this thing. There are markers of this in his hut. He built his hut around said. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah. A couple more before the end of the night here, before we go into After Dark and we just rip everything up. The character intimacy. We talked a little bit about that at the beginning, about Jackie, for instance, how we really kind of wished we got more Jackie, because what we did get of Jackie, we started to have a connection with the character a little bit. Her interactions with Osha, her interactions with Yord, her interactions with Soul. And then to see her fight, I was like, oh, this is not going to be good. Not because she wasn't good, but because we know if all things canonical hold true, we're not going to see these Jedi ever again. They're all dead. Which kind of hurt, because that meant we weren't getting any more Jackie. But tell me about her specifically. I think they referred it, Jackie, isn't it? How do you feel about that character? Do you feel like you could have, if they hadn't killed her off, could you have a whole show around Jackie? Not could you, sorry. Would you want one? And I see you nodding. Yes. Tell me, Debbie, what do you like about Jackie?
I just like her. I mean, I don't know what species she is, but I could be wrong. I don't think we've seen one like her.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I don't know if it's her or if it's the actress, because I loved her in Logan.
Logan, yeah.
But yeah, I would have liked to have seen, if they weren't going to kill all the Jedi off, I would have liked to have seen where her and Soul go.
Yeah.
As master and apprentice. I liked her. I didn't like Yord. I didn't care about Yord. Although I was rooting for him because I knew there was a sneak attack. And I was like, yes, come on, Yord. You can do it. And then he got his nuts nicked.
So, and that's the thing. Like, I want the look, I'm at the end of the day, I'm a Sith. Let's just be real. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Are you?
I believe that you have control over you. I do not. I believe that. Look, I'm a Christian. I'm a believer. I don't care. Who knows? But I also know that I have a certain level of control over me, and that's where that differential occurs between Sith and Jedi. It's that the Force controls me and tells me what I need to do, versus I get to say where I go and what I do. And when you look at things from that lens, and we look at this show in episode 5, how is it that the Jedi are so ill-equipped to handle what is it? Khmer? How do you say his name? I don't even know.
Darth Teeth.
Darth Teeth.
Chimera.
I just
Like a
want to say
K,
Chimera,
except
like the freaking
Chimera.
ship. The
No,
Chimera
not
ship.
that.
That's Zane's ship. Is the Chimera.
It's my ship. It's my ship.
Is the Chimera in Ahsoka? That was the Chimera. It was just
It was
redone,
Chimera.
like patched up patchwork or something.
Yeah,
on it.
because they run a Chimera at the end of Rebels.
Yeah, that's what that Chimera. Oh. You know, so when we started the show, just a quick sidebar. David Graham Poobah said, "You're never going to have enough shows for even a year because there's only so many Sith Lords." And I'm like, dude, but there's tons of Sith stuff. And that's. I just want to point out. Here we are, a year later. I got what? One more week, two more weeks, and it'll be a full
21st.
Yeah, something like that. It'll
21st.
be a full year. Holy crap! I have no idea. 41 episodes, y'all, and we're just talking about Sith, and we talk about Jedi and how terrible they are, and we talk about Sith some more and how wonderful they are.
Jedi are not terrible.
Listen, come on, Cam, you're on a Sith show. Let's be real. Those folks got a little complacent, but I agree with you that it's not this bad. What they are doing to the Jedi is just, I don't agree with it. Debbie, I need really to understand. You have been out so long. It's been a month since you've been on the show. You know that. Because we didn't have a show for 3 weeks. That was my fault. But then you weren't there.
I mean, that and Acolyte's on the same night. And...
I know. I don't care if you join at 9. I don't care. Just as long as you join. Cameron's like, I'm exhausted. You're killing me. No, he wants to rip it. Okay, I got one more.
I'm just thoroughly distraught with how the Jedi are being portrayed, and I will never get over it.
So, we're a Sithy show, but Cameron really loves a Jedi. Well, he really loves one specific Jedi in Luke.
I love Luke Skywalker and what he stands for as a Jedi.
From Legends.
Yes. Not whatever that old grumpy asshole that was on screen that we got.
How hard is it for Mark Hamill to sit there and not... But he did vocalize in the beginning, if you recall. And then he got...
until they told him to shut up.
Why is our chat blowing? What are you doing? Oh, you're telling us. Jackie was a feline human hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you not put that in? Do you not? I don't know what you guys see. Do you not see the chat on the right?
With the private one?
Yeah.
It's only so the stream one's only supported for hosts.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got you.
You'd have to give up power, Emperor Palpatine.
Nope, not happening.
I mean, you can put it in private, but half the time I don't notice it until I'm like, oh, there's a yellow mark up there.
So, none of these folks watch the show, but from my past, the first real kind of ginormous supervisor job I ever had was at Time Warner. We're going to bring the business back into it. We haven't done that in a couple of weeks. And one of the things I realized very quickly, and this is for all you people out there that supervise any single or multiple people, that influence is leadership. Nothing more, nothing less. So when you think of influence as being leadership, and you look at it from that perspective, that not manipulation, which we've talked about on the show, but influence where someone allows you the opportunity to move them in a positive way. then we see how the Sith use manipulation, but we also see how the Sith use influence, like Palpatine in the Senate. He had bureaucrats under his hand. He had everything set. But you don't do that by manipulating people. You do that by rapport and influence. So I see Kamir, whatever, the stranger, and I see this May, and I see this conflict within May that makes no sense in line with what I just explained by the Sith. Like, why is she conflicted if she is following the stranger in the first place? If you're a Sith, you know what you want, you know what you want to get, and you go get it. If you're a dark side user, then that's
He's
different.
bipolar, man.
So I don't want to say bipolar. How is it that May is not just like, F it, I'm going. Let's do it. What? Smash like. Yeah, everybody hit the like button. Hell yeah. Such Vader vibes. Yeah. Who's Vader vibes? I don't know. I lost it. So what do you guys think? How is it that the Sith are being portrayed right now in this manner when we know for a fact that we have Sith like Palpatine, like Maul. Maul, even though he lost multiple times, still a Sith at heart, still trying to fulfill his mission and his duty. I don't see that with this stranger, with this Kamir. I don't even know what his name is.
Chimere!
It's okay. He's
Are they
an Overwatch character.
Do you feel like they're just trying to change it all? We already know they're trying to change the Jedi to make them evil. I mean, do you think they're trying to mess with the Sith?
It's not a Sith.
I just envision them sitting in a boardroom. They're all spouting their nonsense, and they're just throwing darts at a dartboard and just seeing if something's going to stick. I mean, I think he's a Sith. I don't think in terms of what Sith that we have known in the past to be alive at this time would be acting the way that this individual might be acting. So hopefully there is an actual mastermind behind the plan that maybe is somewhat controlling all of this, or maybe some of Debbie's theories hopefully come true, because maybe we can get that almost up to a C grade if we get some stuff like that for the show. But I agree with you, man. I don't understand the motivations. Characters' motivations change at a whim and it's not just for May, it's for every character. Like yours, like, I'm going to take you to the ship. Shut up, civilian. And then Osha's just like, but he's going to kill our friends. He's like, okay, we'll go back. And like, it just doesn't make any. None of the characters' actions, none of their motivations make any sense.
We're gonna make a comparison. Episode Attack of the Clones. No. Yeah. What was the second one?
Let's do Rise of Scott. Let's do Rise of Palpatine, man. I know Zane wants to talk about that one.
I love that movie.
Are you serious?
Even Chewie disagrees. Claw in the chair. Amen, Chewie.
I know. You might see
Chewie has good taste.
Across the camera.
Like, at the end of the day, I mean, we have new content, and I brought this up on the last show. I think a lot of times we get so excited about, there's.
Yeah.
Sorry, I saw something winking at me just then. I can't believe I just said that. The bottle's empty, by the way. It's only been an hour and a half. The bottle's empty. It's been an hour and a half. I don't even know what we're talking. No, Chewy. Yeah, winking. No, I think we have an opportunity with this show that they are squandering. So far through episode 5. I know episode 6 tonight. We haven't seen it. Reserve a little bit of judgment, to be fair. But through 5, we had a great fight in episode 1 with Carrie-Anne Moss, and then you killed her. We got a Wookiee Jedi in episode 3 or 4 that you killed. But of course, everyone has to die because you brought in Kiadi Mundi.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, talk to me.
What's up with the Trinity's character and the whole like a Jedi can't ignite their weapon unless they're ready to kill? I don't ever remember that being a thing.
No,
I don't.
Mm.
What? Can anybody fill me in on why that's a thing? Is it in the
Personal
books,
tape.
Debbie?
A Jedi's weapon is only used in defense. That is Obi-Wan's teaching. So
They might have modified it. I think it is in the books. I'm trying to remember.
maybe it. Yeah. So I guess okay. So looking at it from that perspective, if I ignite my lightsaber, my goal is to defend. But I am willing, if I light my lightsaber, to take your life.
I mean, they did in the prequels all the time, brother. They were lighting that bad boy up for any purpose.
Well, but that was in Clone Wars moving forward. If you think about
She's
it,
trying
man,
to-
real quick. Think about it. Episode 1, whatever, Force Awakens, or nah, shit.
Oh, that's disrespectful,
minute.
brother.
So in a Phantom Menace, when did they ignite their sabers? When they were being
When
being
they came out
attacked.
of the gas.
That's it. That's the only time in episode 1. And so, as much as episode 1, pod racing was cool. That premise of Jedi, I know we're a Sith show. That premise of the Jedi ideal, I agree with. It's consistent throughout. A Jedi only wields his weapon in defense. That's what Obi-Wan said. Why is this bullshit being brought up that I'm going to take out my weapon with the intent to kill? Not the intent to kill. From my perspective, a Jedi lights his saber with the I will kill if necessary. Can we agree on that? A Jedi lights his lightsaber. He knows when he lights that, there is a potential for him to kill something, some person, sentient being, something. We agree? Yes?
It still makes no sense why she doesn't. I mean, she could have ended that fight, and she didn't even have to kill her. She could disarm her. She could cut off an arm. She could do anything. She could do virtually anything to stop that fight, and she just chooses not to. She was literally just clickbait for them to get us to watch the show because we know her as an actress.
How
whereas,
dare you call that out?
They did it in Scream.
Carrie-Anne Moss was in Scream?
No, I'm talking about the movie Scream. They touted Drew Barrymore being in it, and then she was the first one killed.
What? I've never seen Scream. Don't.
Yeah, she was killed within the first 5 minutes.
yeah, I mean, I know it's a thing. I just it doesn't make like, and I know she comes back in that god awful episode 3, but like, I mean, it just. It was like taboo for her to use her lightsaber against someone who's literally trying to murder her.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Oh, Lucasfilm got Debbie. She likes the show. She likes the show, Kathleen.
That's the show.
Wait.
All right, I'm gonna give you guys an open forum. We're gonna start with Zane, and we're gonna work back
Okay.
Debbie, and then Cam.
I gotta drop.
All right,
my
Zane.
notes.
Lock
Deep
it in,
breath.
Grand
Here we go.
Admiral.
Here's the
Lock it
question.
in.
Episode 6 is already out. We haven't seen it because we've been in the show. Debbie's seen it and has been tight-lipped, and we appreciate that, Debbie. Zane, what is it that will happen that will make you stop watching the show? With what you know, with the characters and everything that's been happening outside of 6 that happened tonight, what would make you stop watching this show?
Honestly, technically nothing, because I'm midway through a story. I have to finish it. If we're gonna get into it as a fan, going from watching as a fan to watching just to finish a story, it would totally be they if they just like retconned, if they just said something outrageous that completely gets rid of any thoughts of any Old Republic canon stuff.
Yeah.
If they just if they're like, actually it's rule of 4.
So it would have to be dramatic for you.
Yes.
Okay. If you need to bail, I just saw your message. Go ahead.
Yeah, I gotta go.
We'll catch you guys. Zane, take it easy. All right.
Later, bro.
Yeah, sorry. We got a lot of family stuff happening right now. I got to see my daughter earlier. I'll talk about that at the end of the show. Anyways. So what do you think, Deb? I mean, what is it that would be like, God, I can't believe you guys just did this shit. I know that's already happened at least once for you, but what would be that next thing for you based on what you even know that we don't?
Well, I mean, I don't care, and I'm this way with any fandom that I watch. I'll still watch it. Disney's going to do what Disney's going to do. Legends is not canon. It's never been canon technically. They can pick and choose what they want to take out of Legends, which they have. They brought some stuff back. But
being one of them, yeah.
It depends. Like I said earlier, if this ends, when this ends, and it was just all a bunch of basically bullshit, then I just won't watch it anymore or ever again. I've watched, and this was recently, I've watched the Ewok movies because I had never seen them before. I had never seen them, but we did it for Cantina because there was a lull of, we didn't really have any content to talk about. Never watch them again. Resistance. I watched.
Oh God, what a waste of my time.
I watched that. Never again.
Oh, you had Poe Dameron in the first episode. This is what you're talking about. You bring in someone in the first episode, and you're like, oh, "This is awesome!" And then, oh, come on.
Yeah. So, I mean, I will watch a project no matter what, and I'll watch it all the way through. Try not to have too much judgment on it until it is all the way done, and then either it's something that I go back and watch every year, like I do with the majority of Star Wars projects, or I won't. That's just the way I am. And I'm that way with any of the fandoms. Star Wars, Star Trek, Harry Potter, DC.
So I think
House
you
of
and I
Dragons,
are from
Game of
that
Thrones.
house where we went so long without quote unquote official content. I mean, we had books, we had the novels. Outside of that, we didn't have anything. And so I think our perspective is a little bit different than like Cam and Zane. And not in a negative way. It's just different, right? I mean, we went all those years where the only thing we got were video games, and there weren't. I mean,
I didn't play video games because I suck at them.
Video games and books and the novelization. We've talked about it on the show many times, just how intricate those were and connected. Like those authors talked to each other to make sure there was some. I know you're saying, Debbie, like it's not real, but they did. They did talk. Most of them. Some of them didn't. Some of them just.
Well, here's the thing, and I said that Legends isn't canon, it never was, and Disney picks and chooses. Look, I'm a big Legends fangirl. I love them. I read them all the time. And when they announced The Force Awakens, my thought was like, oh my God, they can't do certain stories from Legends, but I just thought for sure they're going to bring in the kids. Jason, Jania,
Jason and Jaina,
Anakin, Ben. I was like, I had all these theories going around. Oh my God, and then no. Was I pissed? Yes.
100%.
Because I just thought that's where that was going to go. They're going to bring in the kid. I mean, we knew Carrie and Harrison and Mark was going to be in it. So that's, I thought maybe we might even get Mara,
But instead, they gave you a double front flip, didn't they?
So, yeah, am I mad about that? Yes. But, yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're just consumers to them. I'm not trying to be any sort of way. We're just being real. We're consumers. They're supposed to give us something that we pay for. They're not giving us exactly what we pay for, but we're so desperate for content, you and I, because of what we live through, that we're willing to watch it at least once, everything that they put out. There are folks that I know are huge Star Wars fans that ain't seen a damn thing of the last 2 or 3 series because they're so put off by it. That's detrimental to Disney. I'm not saying you're right. We don't do content on this show for the point and purpose of fan reaction, right? We do this, our thoughts, our feelings, whatever, based on our thoughts and feelings. And if you guys disagree, great. Tell us. We'll have an interaction and an engagement. I feel like we're being led down a path of this is what it's supposed to be, and it's now canon, so you need to accept it. I almost used the F-bomb. Effing accept it, because this is what we're giving you.
I'll say it.
Go ahead. Say it.
Fuck. I'm not scared to do it. I do it on all the shows I'm on.
But is that how that's how I feel. You're trying to force it through. There's a NASA Peepo. I don't remember it's like, burr, 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 and he's like feeding this chicken the liquid, and it's like Star Wars, new Star Wars Disney, and it's like force feeding the fan. Cam, tell me, man, is that how you feel? Like they're just trying to force feed you what they want you to hear, instead of like a big story?
I think I listened to this fellow on YouTube called Jeremy Johns. He's probably my favorite
No, you sent me that. Yeah.
Reviewer of just content, movies, TV shows in general. And he typically doesn't do reviews on stuff he doesn't like because he's just not going to waste his time on it. I was listening to one of his reviews on the Acolyte, and I think he summed it up pretty well. In terms of overall Star Wars, like you go back, like Saturday, I'm building a Lego watching, or Sunday, I'm building a Lego watching Attack of the Clones, and it just feels like Star Wars. And I think a lot of us know what I'm insinuating when I say that. And it comes down to the root of it, like it was made by somebody who gave a shit about it. These people don't care. They want to use the IP to put their own story on it instead of doing even what the creators of the Legends material did, where they were trying to tell a Star Wars story but keep it in the overall like continuity and pay respect to the things that had come before,
Sure.
And I think there's probably, The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker was very tough for me because that was when I thought I was done, and then Mandalorian kind of brought me back in, and then that's kind of died down, and then we get really good tidbits in some of these shows, but it would take some just I would have to feel like blatantly like disrespected, like what Zane said, like massively altering what we know before, kind of more than they're already doing with this show.
Yeah.
Because my gripe with the Chaotic Mundi thing is, even despite what he says in Phantom Menace, is that they knew that this was going to be the reaction to it. They could have had
You're right.
They could have had any Jedi Master in there to say his throwaway line that he says, but they purposely put that in there. And that's kind of what you were saying. Like, take it. Like, this is it. Like, we know what he says in Phantom Menace, and we don't care. He's in this. You know? Like, that's just like, I'm going to watch it. Like, whatever they put out. Because I want it to be good, man. Like, there's nothing, like, probably one of the most exciting things that excites me about parenthood is being able to force feed my kids Star Wars stuff. Like, that's probably the one thing I'm looking forward to. But it's made by people that don't give a shit about it. They just want to make money off of it. They don't want to, like, that. I admire with Lucas. He was just like, hey man, this is a story I'm wanting to tell, and you know, you don't like it, it's made for kids, don't take it too serious.
And Debbie, I think on that point, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What the intent versus where we are today, right? We've talked about intent many times on this show, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on the intent of Lucas versus where we are today and what they're doing with the Acolyte. Do you feel they're aligned? And if not, why do you think that is?
I really don't know. And as far as the Acolyte, like I said, I can't speak until it's over with and see if it makes sense and it all comes together. And, the reason Monday the jerk is there is because it's a plot point somewhere down the line. I mean, they got 2 episodes to do that.
Not a lot of time.
So, because my reasoning is, why else would they bring him in, but to make a plot point? No, we're not breaking canon. This is why he says this. I could be wrong, been wrong before, but I don't know. They're just like hit and miss with what they do. Some of the stuff's great. Some of it's, like I said, take it or leave it. I won't watch it again.
And I was very gracious to them what they did with Baylan Skull. I talked ad nauseum about how awesome that character was. So I don't think it's a matter of Disney breaking. I think it's a matter of who they're having do the shows that's breaking. I don't know, Dana, man. I'm having a hard time with this.
Dana, think about this, because Debbie, do you watch House of Dragon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like, think about this.
Oh God, this last episode. Fuck.
We have.
It was so good. I just watched the third. Was it third, fourth, whatever?
Yeah, that whole ending sequence. That needs to like be shown in like acting like school or something. Anyways, but we know what happens with Game of Thrones, where it ends up.
Yeah, you're right.
And I've read the books, and
I haven't.
I have not.
But like in terms of like how they're talking about the prince that was promised, right?
Oh, we know what happens future Westeros because we've seen the show. Sure.
We know that's supposed to be Jon Snow, right?
Yes.
We know that.
Even though he's brought back to life for no reason, but that's
and we know the Targaryens get wiped out, and we know these things, right? And there's been a lot of people like myself that have read the books or listened to the books or whatever, and there's still 8:00 on a Sunday. I'm hitting refresh, back, pull up, waiting for the episode to drop. And they have me. I'm not thinking about nothing for an hour and 10 minutes.
We talked about the pacing of Ahsoka. It seemed a little slow. This show is a little slow, but it's not. Like, the dialogue is great. The character development's great. Like, you know what they're thinking. Oh my God, I'm getting excited. But this is not a House of the Dragon show. But I'm with you, Cam. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm with you.
It's a storytelling, though, man. Like in episode 2, the scenes with Aegon with this kid. Y'all are parents. Like, y'all understand the emotions that he's going through. You know, y'all, like, I'm not even the parent, and I get it, and I feel it, and I love how they're showing us that. They're showing this vulnerability of a character, and
let's not talk about young Rhaenyra sewing on the head back of, like, are you sorry to give out a spoiler of a show we don't talk about in this show.
But it's just the storytelling, and but the difference with HBO is you get 8 full episodes of that. With the Acolyte and Star Wars, we get like 20-minute tidbits or an episode or a scene, and then we go back to kind of garbage. And but then you get Andor, and it's a little bit of a slow burn, but it's a good story. And we know what happens to this dude.
See, there was one line, right? We've talked about it in Rogue One. Like, you are just now being a part of the rebellion. I lived it. Like, what does that mean? Wow, that's cool. I lived it. 3 words created a series of 10 whatever episodes that captivated us. And it wasn't a lot of the mind or eye candy and lightsaber. No, it was just good written story. People, listen. Everybody out there, listen. You people up in the production booth, we will watch well-written stuff. We will watch it. We will be faithful to it. We will yell at those, and we will defend it if people attack it. Sopranos. Oh, who did Sopranos? HBO. Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad made the #1 show of all time. Like, on all the rating sites, whether IMDb and whatever, like all the ranking sites that are reputable, they looked at that. Breaking Bad was #1. Better Call Saul was like #4. Okay, nothing that we've seen within the Star Wars universe is there, and I think that's unfortunate because there is a large fandom ready and waiting for something huge that they can attach themselves to. And the sequel trilogy, that's not it. Ahsoka, sorry, that's not it. This is not it. I thought this might be it, at least for us Darksiders. This isn't it either.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of people who absolutely hate Andor. I mean,
really?
They hate Andor.
They do.
There's a shitload of them. You know, I mean, you just can't make the fandom happy. I don't care what you do. Why do we care about a guy who dies in the movie? You know, and it's just, yes, Disney has its problems, but the fandom has even more. I mean, yes, I watch everything. Do I like everything? No, I get accused of liking everything, but you know, that's just bullshit.
Oh, that was Cam earlier he said Debbie likes it. Hard shit.
But you know, with social media the way it is, you got your what I call rage baiters who the only reason they do it is because it gets clicks, it makes them money, they don't care, you know, it's just bullshit. Sometimes
Right, so-
I wish we could go back to where there was an internet, and
there's a lack maybe of authenticity. I would hope that the show brings a certain level of authenticity, that we are fair, that we do say, yeah, when something's good, we'll say it's good, from a dark side perspective, and when it's bad, we're gonna let them know. And that, to bring it back to the show stuff earlier, the way that the Jedi are being portrayed, as much shit as we on this show have given them, this is breaking even me, who's not a fan of the Jedi.
But they're doing it to everybody though. Like there's no heroes anymore. Like everyone's in this. It depends on whose perspective it's from, you know. And it's like that's just not that's not true in this universe, especially. Like we have established that the light side is the correct side. We have established that.
Why? Why is that? What? Okay, look. Can we just separate for a second? Why is that view the quote unquote correct side from the fandom?
Because that's what George said. The dark side takes and it manipulates you, and it thinks it's giving you something that you truly want, but it does nothing but break you down and make you a arguable worse version of yourself. The light side is the correct path.
Mace Windu.
I'm gonna have to hop off.
You hop off. You know what?
Guys,
actually,
I gotta go to work in the morning.
we
It's almost midnight here.
10:42. You know what? We'll close the show. This is the point, though, of the Twitch after hours or whatever. We just get on these tangents and we just need to go. So we'll talk about that. I'll shoot out a TikTok and put a poll, see if you guys want to do something like that. We'll actually bring in the fans and we'll chat in a separate Zoom or Twitch or something. We'll figure it out. Debbie, thank you. Zane, thank you. I know you're not on anymore, but thank you. I had a fantastic visit with my daughter, Eris Corban, who jumps on every now and then. She actually came through today, and that's why I was late. It was awesome. Cameron, thank you. Also.
Yes, sir.
And Debbie, great to have you back. I would say even just for a little while, but you stayed more than an hour. So rock on.
I was gonna say
All right. Hey, kids, we're just gonna say straight up. Remember, peace is a fucking lie. Peace is a lie. There's only passion. You guys have a great week. We will see you guys on TikTok later this week. Bye.